box like that, but with a Holyfield chin. There ain't a situation that I can't win. Only hot shit coming out my pen. Niggas like that nerd rap, I noticed the trend. Simping on records, man, that ain't hood. But when I point it out, man, that ain't.
Alright, so y'all already know I had to do a recap video for the fights last night. And I haven't really done a good recap video in a hot minute, but we haven't really had no fights that were controversial or really got people heated about the decision and, you know, promote really good discussion. Like, we've had some good fights, but nothing that makes you just be like, okay, yeah, we still got to talk about it tomorrow and, you know, the next day and the next day after that, you know. And I knew this fight was going to deliver, and it did. The whole card did. Were they the two best fights of all time or anything? Were they fights of the year? No, but it was good quality fights with good style clashes, momentum swings, good clean punches. I enjoyed the whole card, but as far as the fight, it kind of went the way I expected it to go. I didn't expect Swift to look so bad in the last 2 rounds, but I think I called the fight right. I said Swift by decision. I know some thought he would knock Peterson out, and you know, it was there, but he didn't work for it. And I think the whole card as a whole, I don't think everybody worked hard enough to really get the win. That's why you had so many close fights, and I'm gonna get into the Quillin and Lee fight a little later. But for Peterson and Swift, I thought Danny, first of all, I think the fight could have gone either way, or it could have been a draw, like 7 rounds to 5 either way, or a draw. Draw will probably be the fairest score, but and I'll give my reasoning. First of all, I thought Peterson won like 2 of the early rounds, outboxing Swift, using lateral movements, the right hand counter and the jab. He wasn't throwing too much punches, but I thought he was soundly outboxing him for a little bit now. Then slowly his punch output dropped and the rounds were becoming closer, and Swift would start moving his hands and really winging those body shots and haymakers, and they were feeling heavier, the impact. And he was just throwing a little bit extra more punches in the rounds, and he was winning those close rounds. So by the time the 3rd, 4th, 5th, the middle rounds came around, Garcia really kind of took control of the fight. But since he wasn't all that dominant in those rounds, we tend to forget that they existed. Lamont came on strong. I thought he beat the shit out of Garcia in the very last 2 rounds, 11th and 12th. I think he had the 10th as well, but the 8th and the 9th round, no, I'm sorry, I think he had either the 8th or the 9th as well. I believe I had Garcia winning the 10th, but the way I look at it, I thought Peterson took maybe 3 of the late rounds and 2 of the early rounds, and I had it 7 rounds to 5 for Swift. But some of those middle rounds, some of those rounds were close, and you could give or take to the other guy. That's why I felt like it wasn't no robbery, because Peterson, and if you go back to my video, I said Peterson fights best when he's pressuring you, walking you down, jabbing consistently, going to your body, in close, ripping uppercuts and hooks. That's his thing. Whenever he does this little struggle boxing routine, he doesn't throw enough punches. So all you have to do is just kind of stay on him and give the impression that you're bullying him and you're being aggressive, and land a couple more punches than he does, and then you can win the round. And that's basically what Garcia was doing. Now with Garcia, I just really think, I think he kind of gassed out, or I don't know what it was, but I think he was fighting under a lot of pressure once it got to like the 8th round. That's when Peterson really decided to, you know, throw the boxing game plan in the bushes and bite down and really try to make it a fight. And that's what he's good at, you know. I'm a guy like where it doesn't matter who's the most skilled, it goes down to who uses their skills better. And they kind of nullified each other in respect, but it was Peterson's fight to lose. First of all, you're the B side, and Garcia, this is hometown. He got the crowd. You have to go in there and take that. He needed to pressure Garcia earlier. because it seemed like Garcia was being hurt more by Peterson's punches than Peterson was being hurt by Garcia. So I know some people are like, okay, you know, Swift is more dangerous earlier, and you know, but you know, if you're gonna try to outbox somebody, damn it, outbox them. Don't just throw 2 jabs, move around for 10 seconds and don't do anything, and then act like you're outboxing somebody. When you outboxing somebody, you need to step to the side, use lateral movements, but you gotta pump that fucking jab. You need to double and triple the jab and really offset somebody's offense. It's not enough to make people miss. People think you gotta outbox somebody by throwing a gazillion punches around. You don't have to. You see Floyd, Rigondeaux, they outbox guys with just throwing 34 punches around. Guys like James Toney and Chris Bird, they'd outbox guys, they'd make you miss, but they'd light you up with combos and counters. You know, you have to control, you know, the boxing aspect in the ring general shit. When you feel like you're moving too much, nigga, what you fucking think the crowd is gonna think? You know, that you moving too much. So, and I think the fight really needs a rematch. I think Garcia is food for anybody at 147. You know, because if you look at it this way, in the 2 close fights that I felt Garcia could have lost, and I actually thought Herrera beat him, but that was a close ass fight that could have gone either way. But Danny's biggest flaws are the boxing and getting outworked and pressured. See, Herrera beat him with the boxing, but he couldn't grind it out on the inside and close the show out like Peterson did. He couldn't really, you know, throw power shots and really hurt Garcia, whereas Peterson did, but his outboxing strategy wasn't as dominant as Herrera. So it's like they both did a part of the puzzle in their fights respectively with Swift, but neither did both effectively to really dominate and get the win. So hopefully they do a rematch. As far as Quillin and Lee, that fight ended up being a draw. I picked Lee by decision, but I felt Quillin kind of edged it a little bit, but neither guy really tried to box. They just looked for a big punch, and it, you know, it was dramatic, it was intense, but neither guy really took the fight from the other guy. Everybody was just looking for a big punch, and you know, that was pretty much it. You know, it was cool, but you didn't really get a decisive winner. You didn't really feel like either guy was better than the other with that fight. But you know, I was entertained, so fuck it. But yeah, next up I'm gonna do the whole Provodnikov and Crawford prediction card later, so I could just sit back and marinate with this one.